Hi! I hate saying hi, but like, how else do you start a video?
My youth is yours, tripping on skies, sipping waterfalls. My youth is yours, run away now and forever.
So last night I came across a journal from a few years ago on my bookshelf, and I realized I don't think I've ever actually reread that entire journal. I ended up reading the entire thing. I stayed up until about 2 in the morning reading it. I felt like I was reading a novel just by the way it ebbed and flowed and had like a beginning, middle, and end. And when I finished, I felt so like I wasn't reading about my life. Like, that person felt so different and distant, but at the same time I brought back to life everything I thought, and all those memories became present. And I decided I wanted to start this project on my channel this summer. After reading it, I really wanted to share it with someone because it felt like I kept thinking of Perks of Being a Wallflower, and I'm not saying that and oh my gosh, my writing is so great, because honestly, these are my scattered thoughts, but it was the way the story was told. So this journal, it's my summer 2014 journal. It starts Memorial Day weekend and ends August 31st, 2014 when I move into my dorm, and it follows my graduation up until college. And so much happened this summer that I really had to capture it, and as I was reading it, it felt very like Perks in the sense that there was a beginning, middle, and end. There were new faces, great memories, new experiences, bonding things. Like, you know, when a movie just makes you feel so alive, or when a book is like, this is what I need. That's kind of how this felt. And I captured my youth here, and there are so many memories I just want to keep alive, and I did very well in this journal, but I want to visually keep it alive. I decided that I'm going to start a summer series on my vlog channel where I read this entire journal in chunks. I'll read an entry, a video. I don't know if I'm going to upload it on the day that I wrote it, even though it's like years later, or what. I don't know what to call it yet because it's a series. But either way, this is one of my proudest works, and I want to share it with people that I know enjoy listening to it, which happens to be you. I love reading the journals of Sylvia Plath, Virginia Woolf, all these great writers out there. It's so personal, it's a look into their minds. I always hope that one day when I'm like dead and buried that my journals might be discovered and published if I work up to that success. And I've been journaling my entire life, so maybe, but does that make any sense? Basically, I'm reading you this journal. It's from 2014. It starts on a really depressing note, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I'm going to explain anything beyond the words written in here, but I just want you to follow. It definitely felt whole. Like, as a complete work. From the first entry to the last, it felt like it had potential to be something more. And now I'm going to share it, and at the end, maybe you can tell me either the same thing or otherwise, and this will just help you get a better glimpse into who I am and how I think and kind of what I went through. There's a lot that I don't share. I don't shit talk anyone really, so I'm just gonna leave the names. Maybe out of like privacy for some people, I'll just bleep it out, but whatever. It's not a big deal. Also, I'm going to overlay a few pictures to go along with any entries that have photographs that go along with them and such, so you'll get to see that. I'm going to do some overlays as my actual writing too, so make sure that you're watching as well as listening, in case you're like me and sometimes just play YouTube videos as I'm cleaning my room or doing whatever. Anyways, I'm rambling now. This is still, to my day, my favorite journal that I have. It's made from recycled paper. Of course, I fill it with my thoughts and little snippets of things, so here we go. Like I said, this is very personal and it's somewhat scary, but at the same time, this is my outlet, and YOLO. Do you respect me as a writer now? I just said YOLO. I remember last night when I rediscovered this, I had no idea, but I actually put in summer highlights at the beginning, and these are all of my like major highlights of the summer, and I read them and I remember all the details. It's crazy. I'm not going to bore you by reading them, but you can pause the video and look at it now. Okay, this journal starts on May 25th, 2014. After a terrible and extremely low night of testing my limits and playing with fire, learning my body can't handle half a mason jar of alcohol in an empty stomach, as well as the much-needed trick of making myself throw up, it is no surprise that the following day, beginning the moment I woke up, was nothing but the extreme opposite, filled with intensified sunlight and music, laughing and yelling. I was on this high ride all day, the moment Madison picked me up to the moment I entered my room nearly 12 hours later. The day started off lovely. The family all away at church, blind to the fact that their fucked up daughter woke up with burning new scars and a pounding hangover. The reason I called it lovely was because I talked on the phone with Miss for the first time, and it wasn't weird at all. In fact, it felt very natural. I I texted her last night, and when she told me she couldn't meet up but wanted me to call her, I knew I had to. I think the phone conversation made all the difference. She tells me how much she cares about me, how worried she is, especially for the next year at college. She immediately asked on the phone, "Makayla, you didn't do anything to hurt yourself last night, did you?" And I told her how I wish I could talk about those things with her, but we both are tiptoeing around the legal boundaries right now. I fear if I flat out said yes instead of just never saying no, that she'd feel professionally obligated to tell the school counselor or someone. I know she knows, though. Abstractly. We talk about it. As she was summing up the chat, she kept telling me, "No hurting yourself, no making yourself throw up, and please eat something soon." I made a promise, and she wanted me to text her when I ate. I'm happy because it kept me consciously aware of something I needed to do, but it also meant that when we said goodbye and hung up that it wasn't over. She even said we could meet up tomorrow, but she'd have her son with her, not being able to give her full attention. I told her I'd let her know. Either way, I know I'll still be seeing a lot of her this month, and we'll probably talk quite often, at first when she moves, slowly declining, but I think I'm starting to accept this whole moving thing. I just wish it didn't have to happen at all. But overall, I'm very happy we chatted, because she told me to get out of the house, go be with friends, spend time outside, and even get dinner at the Last Supper. Madison drove me around today for a reason. Last night, I had a little left over, so I stuck my tumbler in the freezer, creating a great slushie. Sometimes the best remedy for a hangover is the poison itself. So I had vodka for breakfast, and Lydia kept moving it out of my reach at the beach, and Madison drank some, but I finished it feeling better and nicely buzzed. I haven't been sober since Friday afternoon. It's Sunday. I feel like I'm already in college with these poor decisions I've been making lately. But I also know there's no way I'm in college yet, because I sit and stare and smile at a friend during a moment of glory and can't help but feel a sense of sadness shudder down my spine, because for once I have something good in my life that I love with all my heart, and I know very soon it won't be there or ever the same anymore. It's the main reason why I take so many pictures, and why I recorded Sophia rapping To Work by Iggy at Carter's tonight. I don't want to forget the little moments like this one day. Those were what made me feel so high and so happy the most, as she sees it every year at this time. How people handle this time of year, as in the seniors. Here I am, feeling not ready to leave and have everything change, but many are. Many have very well already left my life, even without a goodbye. All this change makes me sad, and I wish nothing more than a stability for me to lean on. Most have their family as the never-ending stable part of their life, I guess, but I know a family isn't what I have. Otherwise, I wouldn't have tried to drink myself to death the one night I stayed home, only to seek out the vivacity of a riveting life the following day. I just hate how I need to be with friends in order to feel that way, how I put my entire emotions in the hands of other people. I'm way too dependent on that level. I need to learn how to be alone without losing my mind. I need to learn how to live without trying to die. What I mean by this is when I sit in the middle seat of Carter's car, not wanting to buckle my seatbelt because flying through the windshield and dying on impact sounds nice. I mean when I try new and exotic food without reading labels or asking what's in it, because part of me kind of hopes a nut will appear and stop my heart from beating. And I realized all of this and more today with friends. How I didn't care about my empty stomach, I just kept drinking. How I stopped looking for cars in the street when crossing. And man, I definitely realized and felt a shift in my suicidal mind when Madison and I snuck into Carter's home from his basement. We were terrified, intense, bloodthirsty for the ultimate kill of Cocky. That brat dug herself her own grave trying to set Carter up. Well, she is no match for a Team Madison. Surprisingly, Madison told me she's really glad I was there and opened the door to the basement from the garage that she kept trying to but was too scared. Scared? That part seemed easy to me. It was when we were on the stairs behind the kitchen, aware of the dog gate blocking a perfect attack, aware of a potential threat right there in the other room. That was the scary part, where I'm glad to have been with Madison, who kept patiently counting to 3 until something hit me inside, reminding me that I'm not afraid because I'm not afraid of dying. In fact, if it happened, then great. I could even find a few benefits if that happened, so I went for it, and what happened? We fucking conquered. The shootout now consists of us, 3 femme fatales and 4 lone assassins, each from a different team. I honestly think we have a shot at winning this, and I stand strong in my belief that this is an example showing me what is possible when you surround yourself with good people, really good people. because amazing things begin to happen, and I still find myself in disbelief at moments where I'm with my 4 best friends and someone says something typical of their character, or we dance to an iconic Madison choreographed song, or Sophia complains, and I feel the need to pinch myself because there are times with those girls where everything feels so freaking right and I feel so flipping lucky, and I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. It's an odd feeling to recognize, a feeling not deeply felt or explored before in my life. And maybe that's why I find it so shocking at times, for it's a good feeling, and heaven knows I don't get many of those. When I do, it's hard for me to enjoy them because my mind will catch flame, spread to the past, to the present, telling me to take pictures or record it, or even physically mention what a great moment it is, instead of actually enjoying it. And if I'm not doing any of that, I'm transfixed on the worries of the future. When will this wonderful time come to a devastating end? Will I remember everything that we're doing and feeling right now in a month, year from tonight? I feel on top of the world right now, so how much longer do I have before I flip and hit rock bottom again? All of those thoughts entered my not quite sober head tonight after dinner at the Lowry, set out as being a Last Supper meal before the shootout. Despite the usual thoughts and concerns, I worked hard to push them aside and become present in the moment. So when we entered the brightly lit highway going back to Carter's and Madison started screaming, slightly out of fear, and we laughed in confusion, there came a moment of acceleration as we curved where everyone began to scream. Lydia's arms high out the rooftop like a roller coaster, my hair blowing in every angle, and I didn't need to. I simply embraced the serendipitous ride full of throwback Miley tunes and rolled down windows going 60 miles an hour, hearing Madison ask if we could go 100. It was night. It was as warm and as free as summer could be. It was a moment in a full car of amazing people, and it was so perfect, so infinite, so special to me. I never want to forget anything that happened today, but I still do not understand how my world can go from utterly over and not worth any more effort, curled up and crying over people and memories not worth my tears as I try to drink myself to death, to today, a sunny, ecstatic, bombastic beach afternoon on a towel under the sun, surrounded by good people and good music, great baked goods, a solid kill of the best Assassin's team ever to exist, to an unforgettable fun car ride of open sky, stars, and screams of pure and utter joy. For we all must have realized that it couldn't have gotten any better than that. Okay, I think I am going to address a few things. Number 1, I had a lot of personal issues in high school that kind of lingered into my young adulthood. Number 2, yes, I did used to drink a lot by myself primarily, but it was an issue. Number 3, you might notice that I start to reference that I kind of go on this fluctuating loop of life is so wonderful, I love life, it's great, to oh my god, life is over, I'm feeling suicidal, everything sucks, to the next morning, wow, everything is just so wonderful, the sun is shining, life is great, why did I ever feel so down? I started exploring this kind of pattern that happens a lot. I didn't know at the time, but it was actually a mood disorder that I would learn about in about a year. It's a type of bipolar personality thing called cyclothymia, which I will explain more later on. I'm still learning about it and figuring it out, but that's kind of, if you noticed, how I started to compare how awful the previous night was when basically I was alone and probably not doing the safest things to my body, to this wonderful day out with friends at the beach. I compare it, being like, why does this always happen? Why does life suck? And then why does it feel so great? So this is Memorial Day weekend, like I said. It's the start of my summer, although I'm still in school for like another week. We had an Assassin's team, which is basically in high school you get a group of friends together and you have Nerf guns and you can like kill each other. Everyone puts in like $5 and so the winner gets like all of the money. It's really fun. The seniors and juniors at my high school would play it together, so the jackpot would be like $500, $700 depending on how many players. You basically just shoot people with Nerf guns, and my team was the last final team in the game. That's how dedicated and badass we are. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. If you're interested, if you think this is a great idea. If you want to see my next entry, I promise it gets better. I really feel like this journal specifically captures my young, wild, and free, life is wonderful youth, like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants type of vibes, if that makes any sense, with where I was socially in life, and just, I don't know. I'm 18 going on 19 in this journal, and life was so full.